gonna do the intro already?
No, Jack, I don't want to. I am in such a bad mood from what we have watched in the previous week that I'm like, I might shut down my whole end. You might have to start doing this podcast on your own because
You shut down your whole end? What?
You have pushed me beyond the point of cinema as a medium, and cinema is now torture. You have broken every little teeny tiny bone in my body that has went, oh, cinema so good, because you made me go see the Meg 2, and I'm never going to forgive you for it.
Roll the intro?
Yay!
Tom, I feel like you could say this and be super dramatic about it, but the unfortunate fact is that I was right next to you the whole time, and I saw you giggling, I saw you laughing, I saw you having a generally decent time. Now, was I going to come out of the cinema expecting you to say, you know what, I had the best time? Absolutely not. But did your reactions in the cinema correlate with you coming out going, that was the worst thing I've ever seen? Absolutely not. I think you're playing
Yes,
this.
it did.
I think you're
You're
playing
lying
this
to me.
up. I think you're being absolutely ridiculous. Honestly, Tom, I think you're being a bit shallow and pedantic. Just a little bit
Jack,
shallow and pedantic.
Did you forget the fact that I started eating expired gum in the middle of the viewing?
You didn't intend to eat expired gum in the middle of the viewing. It was more so that you found the ticket for the Super Mario Brothers movie, making you realize it was expired gum, and you went, best not.
Yeah.
Best not.
That was the highlight of the film.
That was that. That was
That was the highlight of the whole experience.
It's,
I found expired gum and I started eating it, and I was like, maybe this will kill me. Maybe this will end me now. And then I'll be in a grave and I'll be happy and I won't have to worry about this.
well, look. Well, let's give a bit of context to proceedings, because I don't know what the first one is. I know it's Jason Statham, and I know it's a massive megalodon.
Mm-hmm.
Not a shark, megalodon.
Megalodon. It bigger.
It a big
It
boy.
big boy.
It a big boy. That's all I know from the first one. Didn't know anything else. I know it. I know China made it.
What?
Yeah, no, it's a
Yeah.
Chinese co-production. No,
Oh,
not
okay.
abnormal. Do you remember that movie Matt Damon was in, the Great
Oh, the
Wall?
Great Wall, yeah.
Yeah,
Oscar adjacent, the Great Wall.
Oscar. Jeez.
Yes, because Matt Damon was in it and he got an Oscar once. I've seen the first one, but it's been so far in the past now that I have like mentally blocked it out. So, to be fair, I was pretty much in the same position of you about knowing absolutely nothing. All I knew that you might didn't know was that Jason Statham killed the Meg in the last one. It's basically he killed the shark. Shark comes back in the second one, or more of them.
Did he kill the?
Or wait, or did he see?
No, he
it?
didn't kill. Did he kill it in the last one? Because
They had it trapped.
they had the Meg. They had the Meg in its massive chamber.
Okay,
thing.
maybe not.
So
I
they
can't
probably
even
like
remember.
captured it or something. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
The only mention they really make of the last one is when they say, what you last time? It's like, you don't want to know about last time. And I'm like, okay, I guess I don't. I'm not going to watch it.
One of the funny things I did notice, if you bring up them speaking,
You've heard it here first. Tom says something funny about the Meg too.
Did you shut up? Did you notice how in so many scenes some of the actors are speaking Chinese directly to Jason Statham, but not once in the entire film does Jason Statham speak Chinese back. He always acknowledges whatever they said, like he understood it, but he never speaks a word of it.
Do you know who would have spoke Chinese back?
John Cena.
John Cena. Oh,
Yeah, Bing Chile.
He absolutely would.
We know.
He absolutely would have. The Meg as a series seems to be Jason Statham, who is a hotshot, extraordinaire environmental person
Yeah.
who is trying to take down the big oil companies. What was he trying to take down in the opening of the film?
Oh, there was a company that was basically dropping off all their nuclear waste in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
And he was basically, no, that's bad for the environment. And then he does all this stuff.
And then he does.
He does
It's
his
such
kicks and flips.
it's such a wonderfully random action sequence in the
Yeah.
At the start of your movie called The Meg. Um, okay, so that's basically that's basically the plot. There's a big shark, which is in the opening of the movie. The opening movie's in like prehistoric times.
Oh, I forgot about
There's
that.
a prehistoric times, and there's like little baby dinosaurs
Yes.
getting chased by a T Rex,
Hmm.
and then the T Rex is like, and then the Meg comes over and is like, "Rah," and just fucking starts eating it. There was more blood than I thought there'd be.
Was there blood? I'm
There
trying to
wasn't there
remember.
wasn't a lot of blood, but there was more blood than I
Ah,
thought
there
there would
was
be.
bits,
And
yeah.
I suppose it's because they're like two CGI creatures. They're not, they
Yeah.
weren't showing any like, they weren't showing any
People blood.
people blood. They weren't showing any insides or anything.
Hmm.
But I was like, hey, you know what? This movie cost like $130 million.
Cost 130
It
million.
cost $130 million.
It has like 2 locations. One of
And
them's underwater.
Is that no? To be fair, Tom. Okay, I know what you're gonna do. I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna go. It's the Meg. It's a movie called The Meg. I saw the trailer. I'm just gonna shit on every single aspect of it. No, Tom. This is a podcast.
No,
We have 34 minutes
Jack,
left.
that is not true because I didn't watch the trailer.
Yeah, see, Siri said it confirmed exactly.
Shut
how
up,
many minutes are
Siri.
left. There's
I'm
no getting
afraid
away
I
from
can't
this.
let you do that.
Nope, this is not 2001. You ain't getting out of this. This movie, for all the warts that it has, compared to something like a Thor: Love and Thunder, compared to something like a Secret Invasion, I look at the Meg 2 and I go, you know what? This is perfect mid 2000s fare, and the effects look pretty good. They look pretty good. Do they look real? Absolutely fucking not. No,
No,
they're
no.
not in any way. But they're detailed. They look good. They look like a company spent time on them. They don't look rushed. And God, that's shocking to me. So every time I saw something, I was like, you know what? That looks real enough. That looks good enough to where my suspension is not constantly going, God, that looks terrible.
Yeah, okay. There was nothing that was like comically bad with
No.
any of that. It's not like I don't know why it came to mind the Black Panther.
Oh, the end fight?
Yeah,
at
the
Black
end
Panther.
fight
Oh, yeah,
that
where
looked
it's
like somebody
PS2 game.
somebody fell asleep on the job and was like, "Oh, forgot to do my bit."
If they don't look the best, they still look good because people clearly spent time and effort on them.
Yeah.
Whereas, if they were rushed, it would be a different thing entirely. Also, they seem to have actually went to. I'm not going to say the cinematography is game changing. Like a quarter of the movie is spent in dim underwater sections,
I was going to bring that up
and
as,
like I can barely tell what's
as a
happening.
big negative. Yeah.
Is a big like, bleh. But even those segments, I'm comparing. I mean, I didn't watch it. You saw the Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
I mean, how do the underwater segments compare to the Little Mermaid? I'm sure seeing not much at all makes things at least seem a bit better than seeing everything brightly lit with CGI hair everywhere.
Yeah, they're definitely two different um stylings in terms of like how much you can see and how much they want to encapsulate what like the ocean floor looks like. Because in The Little Mermaid, they're clearly going for that more fantastical element of like, oh, it's blue, white sand, oh, it's all lovely, look at all the cool creatures. And then in the Meg, they're like, this is the Mariana Trench, this is deep as hell. There ain't no light round here.
Well,
Or there's barely any.
I will say there is clear attempt to have
Sunlight.
the organic creatures give off light, and it did have a certain look to it. It didn't look like director for hire. Again, they did get an actual director on this that had some sort of vision onto it. But I also appreciate the fact that he knew what he was making. He didn't try and make the Meg into some sort of like deep thought piece on none of that. It wasn't getting any of that. It's about big shark, and you see that because the opening of the movie is a shark eating a fucking T-Rex.
T-Rex, yeah.
And that's what you're getting. Now, it takes a while to get there because we have to sit through Jason Statham going underwater and then finding out that there's a secret underwater military operation that's trying to do something in the trench. And then they find out there's a bunch of Megs down in the trench, which is why it's called the trench. And then I think there's Russians. There's a Russian boy or something. Is he Russian?
No, I thought for the other team, I thought he was Spanish.
Oh, he's Spanish. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
There's contractors that are doing illegal, bad for the environment
bad
things
for the
down there.
environment things. So they get into the base because they what was it again? Oh yeah, no, because the Megs crash into their ship and they're like, oh shit, so we got to walk across
Yeah.
the ocean floor in these mech suits,
Hmm.
which well, as soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, that's their way of explaining away how they don't just get immediately crushed
Yeah.
by the water pressure of being like what was it, 25,000 feet underground or under
I
the
never
ocean.
looked at the number. I just saw a big number. I'm
I
like,
saw a
okay.
big number, and you go, yeah, you're not surviving down there
Yeah.
without anything on.
They're
And I
seeing a
go,
kiddie pool.
hey, this ain't a kiddie pool. I go, okay, that makes sense as to why that is. But then what happens, Tom, where Jason Statham needs to do something? What do they do anyway?
Oh yeah, they basically show it's like it is impossible to survive out here in this water, and then they get Jason Statham to survive out there in the water. They try to explain it with the whole idea of like all water pressure. If he just like breathes out all his air, like the air difference is going to be like okay, and which makes like from my basic understanding, no sense. But they just wanted to explain it within the story of the world that it was like, oh, if you breathe all the air out of your lungs, now your lungs don't have air. The air pressure is now the same as outside, and you can swim, but you don't have a lot of breath to swim with.
But then in my mind, I go like, well, how the fuck does he? Is he just going off the oxygen in his blood? Is that
Yeah,
okay? So that explains why he's immediately like on the verge of
yeah,
passing
yeah.
out. It's just fucking funny.
I know.
Although to
I'm
be fair, I was cheering. I was like, oh shit, they're gonna fucking do it.
yeah.
They're gonna fucking do it. Jason Statham's a madman. Move over, Tom Cruise. Can you do this?
I oh no, no, that would be bad because then Tom Cruise would be like, "I'm going to do it for real," and as soon as he leaves the airlock, he goes like, "No, we have got no
And, it,
Tom Cruise."
and his head pops. That's what no bad because where's the AI in Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning? Where
Oh
is
no,
it?
it's underwater.
It's underwater. It's in the fucking sunken sub. Oh, he's gonna do it for real, boys. Do you think the Meg's gonna make a cameo?
No,
Do you think the Meg's gonna appear in Mission Impossible
stop,
8?
stop.
Oh, that's great. But no, they managed to get off the because they find out that one of their computer people is a double agent.
Yeah.
Is secretly working
Mo.
for this mysterious woman,
Mo.
and I gotta be honest, they're hilariously thinly written because all they keep talking about is money.
Money.
Think of me, all the money, and then Jason Statham has to be like, "Yeah, you killed three of my friends. You think I'm gonna forget about that with some money?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Jason Statham ain't gonna turn."
You gotta think about the environment.
I love how Jason Statham is so for the environment, but every time his friend like keeps saying that him and the Meg have like a connection,
Yeah.
he's like, "Nah, nah, the Meg has one thing. We gotta kill it." I'm like, "Well, I
Yeah.
thought you were for the environment. You want to kill this thing? What the fuck?"
I love plants. Fuck sharks. That's his whole thing. No. He's sitting there being like, "You're going to destroy the ecosystem. That's my job." And then he goes around and kills everything himself. He doesn't want like anti-environment people killing all the ecosystems for him.
How do they? How do they? Because I give them credit. They either built like a small set on water, or they actually went out to a real oil rig, and then just like done it up and shot there. I give credit. That looked real to me. That didn't look
If I remember
that
right,
didn't look fakey fake.
that might be the same oil rig that is in the first. If there is one in the first.
There's one in the first.
I can't remember.
I thought you were gonna say is that the same one in Deepwater Horizon? I'm like, did Hollywood just build an oil rig and that's what they use?
Yeah. I know. I wanted to
Wouldn't be the
bring
worst
up
thing.
whenever you said about like the beginning being like the Meg, it actually shows like the shark eating because for the next like 20 odd minutes, there's like no real action to do or no real threat of the shark. It did give me the realization that the Meg 2 has the same pacing as a YouTube video where they're like, okay, we're going to get them in with the big shark. We're going to show them the big shark eating something within the first 5 seconds of the video. And then we're going to spend the first third not doing anything. Like, I wouldn't be surprised at like before they go under the water, there's like a Skillshare ad. Like, that wouldn't have changed the film for me. But we're here to talk about the Meg 2.
We're here to
And
talk-
not Mr. Beast
We're here
being
to talk
like,
about the Meg 2 and not Tom's incessant need to compare everything to a fucking YouTube video.
it's just Mr. Beast video is like, I
I
found
swam with Megs.
I found the largest shark of all time,
I,
and now there's 3 of them.
I cured the Meg's blindness. I made friends with the Meg. Look.
I swam 40,000 feet under the water.
I killed 3 Megs on a speedboat. I just want Mr. Beast. Can somebody deep fake Mr. Beast on a Jason Statham
That would be great.
and then just upload that as a Mr. Beast video?
Honestly, I think there'd be a couple of good Mr. Beast videos if he just looked at the filmography of Jason Statham.
I would actually give Mr. Beast.
I added a bomb to my heart. I can't let my heart rate go under 100 beats per minute or I'll die. Carl, what do you say about that? Boy, that's crazy, Jim.
Boy, it's crazy.
Boy, that sure is crazy. Look what I'm going to do with all my feastables.
You let the real Tom out there for a second. I respect that. What the fuck does Jason Statham do? No, because at a certain point, I think he just goes full on fucking right. So they get on back on the oil rig, but then Blondie is like, "I'm evil." What happens to her again? Oh, that's right. She gets eaten.
Yeah.
That's right. The Meg makes a reappearance and fucking eats her, and then the Spanish boy is like, "Oh no," because he was they introduced that he was
Like dating her.
dating her. All of this is like set up and immediately dropped, and it kind of gave me flashbacks to like the Doctor Strange when they introduce all the heroes and then immediately kill them.
Yeah.
I was like, I love that like all of this could easily become its own plot point in any other movie, and the shark just keeps coming in and eating everybody, and I'm like, yes. I want to go back a wee bit because I do want to bring up there was a really good death in the trench.
Oh,
where,
yeah.
like her because whenever they get into a room, it's like in space. Like we have to get it, and you have to depressurize the room.
Yeah.
Which involves all the water coming down. But whenever it happens, it doesn't happen in time, so she runs out of air. Is it?
Oh wait, which one? There's the girl.
Oh, because the thing keeps cracking, doesn't it? Before it's
one
depressurized.
girl is running out of oxygen in her tank, and the other one has a crack
Yeah.
in her mask. So yeah, the one that doesn't have enough oxygen,
air, she gets eaten.
She gets eaten, but she basically like sacrifices.
She sacrifices herself, even though I'm like,
Well, hold your breath. It worked for Jason Statham. It was just hold your breath. You're fine.
just exhale all
Yeah.
your remaining oxygen and then hold your breath. It's fine.
Yeah, it's great.
The oxygen in your
Or
lungs is
you
fine.
know, be a father, and then you're just not going to die in this film.
Okay, so everything. Okay, so yeah, though that death where her head gets crushed
Yeah,
with the pressure,
yeah.
that was pretty cool because then
That
like,
one was cool.
The whole thing like cracks and it looks like have you ever had a screen protector and you break it and it
Mm.
turns into like you see all the crystals? It looks like that. That's the way for them not to show any gore,
Mm-hmm.
but you still go, oh,
Yeah. Yuck.
that was good. I like that. I was like, damn, and they actually spend a little bit of time and everyone's like, oh, and then the movie kind of speeds up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, that's
And then Jason Statham just goes out there without a suit on. Yeah, yeah.
She dies and then Jason Statham should die, but he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
No, I wanted to bring this up because maybe it's because I wasn't paying attention because I was like, oh man, cool, shark ate the dinosaur. That's awesome. Wait a minute, hold on. There's plot happening now. The little girl.
Yeah.
Whenever they introduce her, and like she's chatting to Jason Statham, and I was just like, oh, okay, I guess that's his love interest. Okay, but. Okay, that's fine. And I just kind of immediately passed it off and I was like, okay, cool, that's what that is. And then I can't remember what the scene was, but I think he might have been talking to her in her room
Yeah.
and there was like stuffed teddy bears and shit and I went like, ooh.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, that's a bit, and then I went, oh wait, who is this? And I can't remember if I said to you or I said to Sam. I said, who is that? He's like, oh, this is it's like is it previous films person's daughter or something
Yeah,
that
I
he's
think
taking
so.
care of?
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, that makes so much more sense. That makes so much more sense. And I was so glad that I understood that right then and there, because if it had kept going, I would have been like, ooh.
Yeah. It was like you're unnaturally obsessed with
You're
this
naturally
guy's
obsessed
daughter.
with this.
Yeah, whether her father standing like right next to Jason Statham and being like, "Dude, I see no problem with this."
Is that the dad?
Yes, that's the dad.
That's the dad?
They bring that up. Yeah.
Okay, I completely forgot about
Yeah.
that point. Oh, was she in the last one?
I've blocked it. Nobody knows if the first Meg ever actually existed.
Oh, Tom, no, I showed you the box office of the last
Oh,
Meg.
yeah.
You were shocked by that.
I was shocked.
Oh, $550 million, motherfucker.
I wish I said it more often. We can get to the box office in a sec. I wish I said it more often whenever we were in the film, but I said it at like one of the last shots. But every shot that shows Jason Statham and the dad, like the guy that's running the MEG aquarium thing, they just give off like gay dad energy like every time. So like I think the very last shot they're like, we did it. They're cheersing over a beer. Everybody's happy on the beach. And I just lean over to Jack and go, gay dads. And here,
Okay, literally. Because they even their like rapport back and forth. I was like, they got good because like I like that Jason Statham is clearly the action hero,
yeah,
but your other boy clearly gets into a lot of danger. Like he goes down with the Meg and he chooses to like, oh, we have a bond, and he's clearly proficient
yeah.
at like fighting, and so he's clearly very proficient. So I was like, this is all good. Can we talk about the real the real cojones of the film, the real backbone to it, whose name I'm forgetting now. So this is gonna
That shows how impactful they were. The
it
biggest
was
cojones of the whole film.
the biggest cojones of the whole
Oh,
film.
I think I know who you're referring to now.
It's Mr. DJ.
Yes.
DJ. Man, apparently he was in the first one.
Yes.
What a G. Because you see him and he's like stereotypical, and you're like, all right, well, I guess you're most likely gonna die. You're most likely gonna die. And then all of a sudden, while they're still in the trench, and him and Cliff Curtis, who was also in Avatar: The Way of Water, and I was like, I know him. I'd done the DiCaprio thing. They're like trapped and they're trying to get off the thing, and he's like got a little backpack, and he's like, no, after the last one, I'm coming prepared. And he struggles to get the pistol
Yeah.
out of his bag, and I was like, I love that he left that in. And he's like, I'm coming prepared. Look, yes, he's gonna be Batman. I loved him. I thought everything he said, I just adored it. Every single joke that came out of his mouth, MVP. I had such a great time.
He was good fun.
Tom, don't you worry. I'm keeping time. I'm keeping time, Tom. I'll have a wee surprise for you at the end, just for getting through talking about the Meg 2, because I know you just loved it so much. I know you'd rather go on for another hour talking about it, but we'll leave it short and sweet. Let's talk about the third act, which the movie does decide to show us, because they go to what is it, Party Beach or Party Island?
Oh, yeah, it's like Fun Island or whatever.
Fun Island. Man, it turns into a piranha movie at that point. Like, it just becomes a completely different movie, and I gotta respect it. Like, it just goes, we know what we're doing. Fun Island. And they start showing like there's like a guy who's like hitting on this like this older lady and like her daughter, and he's like, you want to rub some lotion on my back? And I'm like, you're gonna get fucking
you're gonna die.
You're gonna get eaten. And then they show like all the teenagers in the pool, and they got like close-up shots of like their bodies, and I'm just like, oh man, this is gonna turn into a blood fest. It's gonna be great. And then of course that happens, and I can't think, do they realize that they're traveling to Fun Island, or are the Megs already traveling there because they like?
Well, they heard so many positive reviews about Fun Island that they.
Oh yeah, on TripAdvisor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, the Megs getting out their little phone.
Yeah.
I don't know, what sounds do sharks make?
I don't know.
Do sharks make noise?
Jack, these are two hard-hitting questions. These are
They're two hard-hitting questions that the Meg does not answer.
No, they do not answer at all.
Not even a little. But no, there's three Megs that come out of the trench. So I thought one was bad enough.
An octopus, or it's like a giant squid.
Well, I wanted to say, because they don't really play up, like, because the one that they have is like, oh, it's a big one. But then there's another one that comes across, and they go, oh, it's the biggest Meg I've ever seen. I don't feel like they play up the fact that there's clearly
size difference,
that like a size difference, because like it didn't feel that way to me. I will say though, because you're right, they do introduce an octopus, which they have as like encompassing the little what do you call that comes out from the island, but is like it's on the water.
It's kind of like on the dock
kind of thing, on the dock bar and seating setup. They've got the octopus kind of coming out, sort of like in Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, where the Kraken's like coming over the ship.
Yeah.
You just see its tentacles.
I think they basically realized that the Megs were completely useless if people were on land. So they're like, okay, we got.
Well, I respect. I enjoy that because then it. I almost feel like they didn't. They could have went further with it, but I like the fact that they go, okay, well, and they do introduce them earlier. I don't know if they introduced the octopus earlier,
no
but they do introduce the
the
little,
tiny.
but then they give them
the
legs
land.
and they can go on land. I'm like, all right, sweet. This is perfect, and it means everyone can go off and do their own little thing. Jason Statham's on the speedboat. The rest of them are on land, and then you have what's his name? What's his name?
Jamie, look it up.
Oh wait, no, that's Wu Jing
Okay.
as Jim Young. Jim Young? Yeah, no, he's Mei Ying's uncle.
Uncle.
So it was the deceased sister, Su Yin. Okay, so Su Yin must have been in the first one, and then he took over.
Okay.
I think maybe. Sure, whatever.
Just adds to the gay dad. Vibe.
Just adds to the gay dad. 100%, 100%. Him and Jason Statham like that, like. Mei Ying's. Oh yeah, no. Okay. Right. Okay. So I just read. Okay. So Mei Ying. So Jason Statham is Mei Ying's stepfather. So
Oh,
Jason
he is?
Statham is actually because
so he is the actual.
he was the
dad?
husband of Su Yin. So
Oh,
yeah.
right.
So he was, but that means that she still wasn't his. But he's the stepfather.
Yeah.
And then Wu Jing was the uncle. But so that explains why they had like a close overall.
Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense.
Hey, you know what? Meg too, standing up for the stepdad. Stepdad. He wasn't the real dad, but he was the dad that stepped up.
Yeah.
There you go. Meg 2 ends with octopus going rah, 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 and then it has the little piranha legs on the land going rah, 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 and then the Megs triple, the trifecta Megs are in the ocean going rah, rah, rah. So everyone's going rah, 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 and it's a whole big thing, and everyone's going crazy, and everyone's running around, and there were so many absolutely zany things happening. The evil billionaire person, she got eaten.
No, she
got mauled. I love that. Like she gets like dragged out of the helicopter, and then she gets like dragged.
Oh,
Gets
yeah,
dragged
kind of
back.
far.
Doesn't she like hit herself? Like
Yeah.
she like hits off the side of something, and you went like, oh. And I was like, that's great.
She did. She followed every single play on what not to do if you're the.
She
bad
got out of
guy.
the helicopter. She picked
Yeah.
up the whole thing.
Yeah.
Make sure all the doors
told,
are shut.
Yeah, she told the person who knows how to fly the helicopter to get out of the helicopter and check it out. Instead of just being like,
Take off.
I ain't got time for this. Take off. We'll find out in like an hour's time.
Stupid.
Yeah, it's all stupid stuff. But yeah, we got to see her.
We got to see her get
torn out.
and then Jason Statham is gonna fight the Spanish boy.
Yes.
And then he sees the Meg coming, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna need this gun." And then the guy's about to do that,
Yeah.
and then the Meg just goes, "Rop," and just like there comes immediately in from the side and eats him.
Do
That's
we-
what I mean. Like the Meg just eats everybody,
Yeah. Except Jason Statham.
except you. Well, that's the thing. 'Cause
There's
Jason Statham
so many close
is
calls.
so close to getting eaten at one point, but it just keeps standing on like the roof of its mouth, and it's like,
Oh yeah.
Man, all this stuff looks great. If this was made by Marvel, this would look like cheap 2001 shit. This would look terrible. People actually spent time and energy on this. Man, God bless. I'm sure it was some visual effects studio in China. Man, I hope they got paid well. They probably didn't, but I hope they did. I hope they did.
No.
Because my God, that's some great work.
Those 12 hours, 6 days a week. You can really see the results.
12 hours, man, that's being so nice to them. Man, that's 18 hours, one break, 5 minutes.
Yeah. Two piss bottles by the station.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And you only get 2.
Yeah.
So if you're like on the brink of filling up that second one, oh, you better hold it.
And it's not like they get emptied and brought back. Those
No,
are
no,
those
no,
are
no,
2 for the 18 hours.
No. There's like, if one person goes on break, everyone's just like throwing their piss bottles at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you empty this, please? Can you empty this, please? That's got my name on it. Can you make sure that gets back to me? Thank you. Oh my God, the working conditions.
Yeah, he's not great.
You Hollywood writers and actors, you don't know how good you have it.
Jack, that is not going to be the point we end with the Meg 2.
No. Support your writers, support your actors.
Yes, support everybody.
Their comfort is very important. And support the Chinese working environments. Well, don't support them. Maybe change them if
Yeah,
they're bad.
change them. That's
I don't know. We've not read into the Chinese working environments of the visual effects. Studios.
We watched the Meg 2 and we really didn't put any more effort than that. Jack has been reading off the Wikipedia of the
You don't
Meg,
have any proof of that.
So there we go. Show me.
You don't have any proof of that.
No, don't change. Don't click off of it.
Tom, you have no proof that's Wikipedia. You have no proof
Meg
that's
through the
Wikipedia.
trench on Wiki.
You have no proof of that.
There we go.
You have no proof. It doesn't say wiki anywhere. This could be any website.
It looks like it.
It may look like a Tom, but you know what also it also looks like things? Threads looks like X. What the fuck am I saying?
Yeah, what did you say?
What is X
Was
looks
that English?
X looks like Threads and Threads looks like X. What is happening? What have they done to us?
Old man yells at cloud.
What is going on? Tom, would you recommend the Meg 2?
No.
I would.
I know you would.
I would recommend the Meg 2. Listen, if you're in the mood for a movie that you could sit down with your mates, have some cheap ass takeaway, a few bottles on the side, maybe smoke a doobie as well, and you just want to chat over it while watching something stupid, it's the perfect movie. It's not 3 hours long. It's not Killers of the Flower Moon. It's not Dune 2. And by God, it's not something like Mission Impossible where you actually do want to watch it. Yeah. It's something that you can speak over. Tom and me have watched many of those films. Mm-hmm. We have spoke over many a good film that we wish we hadn't.
Yes.
And we have seen many a film that we had paid attention to that we wish we had not. This one, perfectly in the middle, perfectly serviceable, actually pretty enjoyable once you get to the end where all the stuff starts coming together. Tom, I think you're being a bit too harsh on it. I think there clearly is a market for it.
I am probably being a bit too harsh, but I'm also thinking about where people are watching it. Because, like you said, like if this was on Netflix and we were just chilling,
it'll be on Netflix in a week.
It'll be there soon. But it was the fact, and you
didn't spend a fucking penny on it.
I said I wanted a refund anyway.
You didn't spend a penny on it. This motherfucker, he just didn't spend a penny.
But you could picture like the average person is going to the cinema and they're like, I haven't been in like 3 weeks and I've decided not to watch Barbie or Oppenheimer.
Tom, the average person went to see MEG in 2018 and it made $530 million.
That's what I don't understand. I said during the trailers.
We are not the average person, Tom. You are a fucking game developer. We are not the average people.
We are
dorks of the highest degree. The average person doesn't want that. The average person
are disgusting.
The average person sees Big Shark and goes, nom nom, nice, thank you.
But no, as I said it to you while we were watching the trailers, although we were in a generally empty theater, there were people there, more than I expected. And I turned to you and went, Jack, why is there more people coming here? I thought this was going to be like a completely
at
empty
8:40
theater.
At night.
8:40 on was it a Wednesday?
It was a Monday.
It was a Monday.
It was a fucking Monday. 8:40 on a Monday.
And there was people there. And I was really shocked because I thought this was going to be completely worthless. And then you brought up like then and there that the first one made like 500 million at the box office. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. That makes so little sense.
What does not? We're going to wrap it up because I want to do a little something for Tom. Okay. But Tom, why does it not make sense? Does it not make sense because you go, this movie bad? Why people go see this when they could see something good?
Yeah, you pretty much got my whole argument right there.
The argument there is people don't care. Because we look at something like the Meg 2 and go, right, there's clearly a way that you can make a big monster movie and make it good. We think of a Jurassic Park. We think of, I don't know, I would personally say like Godzilla, King of the Monsters, something like that.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people wouldn't agree with that. But then you look at something like the Meg 2 and you go, this is clearly over the top trash. It's probably not going to have the Meg in it a lot. Why do people want to go and see this? Because it's stupid and it's dumb fun. And nobody is going to be, in this day and age, no one's going to be writing a critical analysis of the Meg. I mean, we've talked with people. There are people who don't want to see Barbie because it looks a bit full of itself.
Yeah.
There are people who don't want to go and see Oppenheimer because it's 3 hours and it's about history. And you're like, it sounds like really dense and kind of boring. And like, you want something light. You want something under 2 hours. And you want something that's not really going to make you think too much while you scarf your face with popcorn. That is legitimate. That is legitimate. Because we all have those movies that you just want to sit back and enjoy and turn your brain off a bit that you don't really want to think about. Because by God, we did not think about Barbie. We just said, don't take our opinion for it. It's good. Anyway, it's a fair thing. Guys,
fair.
Go see the Meg 2. And if you don't want to see the Meg 2, then wait for it to come out and torrent it. Because fuck it, why not? Why not? The whole industry's going down the tubes anyway. Fuck Bob Iger.
I love that. It's like, I was like, we recommend go see the Meg 2. And if you don't want to, don't. Nobody's forcing you.
Nobody's forcing you. Nobody cares. the whole industry's going down the tubes anyway. You can just torrent.
Just watch Too Hot to Handle on.
I think it's coming
Netflix
out
instead.
on digital in like early September. So like you don't have to wait long. It's like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Wait 3 weeks and just torrent it and watch it on your big TV. And it's probably gonna
And
look better anyway.
I would bet, if I was a betting man, which I am, I would put the bet that by the time it comes out on digital, you'll forget you ever even wanted to watch it.
You know what? Absolutely fair play.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you any money it's going to be number one on the iTunes charts because
No.
that's what Tom. You have such little
No.
understanding of what people actually want to watch at the box office and what
I
people want to watch at home. But that's fine, Tom, because you just watch anime and IRL streams,
Yeah.
and that's your consumption, which is by far not in any way what the average person consumes. So this is all fair. We all love our individual things.
Ooh, Barracuda.
I am going to play our favorite game with you to finish out the podcast.
Okay.
Me and Tom have gotten into this because I'm quite good with film years. I'm quite good with film box office and budget. I'm just a bit of a stickler for those numbers. Tom,
I am bad at all three.
you don't really know what films budget and box office are, but you also don't really know.
I never know the years.
You don't know about public viewing of these movies, what people are interested in, but you also don't know how much movies are meant to cost.
Yes.
So it's always fun. So what I thought would be fun, because I do know you're kind of sort of familiar with us talking, I thought we would go through the box office top 10 for this week.
Okay.
And we can see how is Barbie doing, Oppenheimer, if there's any other movies in there. We can have a little bit of fun here. And we'll do that for about 10 minutes, and then we'll finish up. So Tom didn't know I was going to do this. He's all
Hey,
excited.
this is a nice
now.
surprise.
This is
This offsets the Meg.
this offsets the Meg, the disease of the Meg. Let's.
Can we just edit out all the discussion in the Meg and just have a 10-minute podcast that this?
Well, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoy this little segment, we can make a whole episode just based on Tom guessing box office. What do we call it? Box office and budget.
Yeah.
That's actually not a bad wee title. Box office and budget. Not bad at all.
Yes.
Okay, Tom, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
First one up is Barbie.
Barbie. Okay.
How much did it cost and how much did it make at the box office so far?
Okay. Well, I believe from us talking, because we have talked about both Barbie and Oppenheimer, Barbie cost 180 million.
Okay.
And right now, how many weeks has it been since it premiered?
We're going to go with 2.
2?
About 2 weeks.
I'm going to say 550 million.
550 million box office?
Wait a minute. I have a 600.
600?
600.
So you're generally pretty close on the budget of things.
Yeah.
Budget was between 128 and 145 million.
Oh, okay.
Box office way off, bro. It has made 1.06 billion dollars.
I paused for a moment because I feel like I saw, or you brought up that it passed 1 billion, and I was like, no, maybe that was Barbie and Oppenheimer combined. But god damn it, 1.06 billion. Is that what you said?
1.06 billion dollars. It is absolutely cleaning house.
That is.
I'm
a
pretty sure
pretty
it's gonna.
penny.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna finance Warner Brothers for the next 10 years. Like it's been a runaway hit, and on that budget too.
Yeah.
On the lower end of a blockbuster. Magnificent stuff. Now, next up is Oppenheimer. What is the budget and what is the box
I
office?
believe budget is 200 million,
Okay.
and I don't think it's crossed 1 billion. People really like Barbie. So I'm gonna say 820 million.
Okay, no worries. Well, Tom, you really overestimated. I think you were thinking of Secret Invasion there. You know, your favorite TV show, Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
I think you were thinking more of that because it actually only cost 100 million to make.
What? Oh, I'm so confused. I'm so confused. I feel like we had the discussion.
We
where
literally
you-
had the discussion in the last episode where we said that you could make 2 Oppenheimers and still have 12 mil left over
Oh,
if you had the budget of Secret
I
Invasion.
just heard you could make Oppenheimer. I didn't hear the 2. Damn.
So
I did math questions as a kid, and they'd be like, "You have 5 apples," and I'm like, "Okay, I have an apple."
Well, I gotta be fair there because you said 200 million. It was only cost 100 million. Box office you said 850.
820.
It's current 820. It's currently made 582 million,
Okay.
but that I believe is outgrossed Tenet, and I believe it's already outgrossed Dunkirk.
Yeah.
So it's on its way to being a very. I mean, that's
Okay.
100 million budget, 582 million. Like
It's still good.
that's a very good cost to return, and that's for an R-rated 3-hour biopic. That's insanity.
Well, so those were, for the audience, those were the two most talked about budgets and box offices that me and Jack have been talking about off the pod. I brought it back.
I hate you. I hate you.
We have discussed these ones so often that those were recent in my memory. Anything else he's going to bring up, I don't think we've discussed once.
Let's go for something like the Super Mario Brothers movie. Tom, what's its budget and what's its box office?
Oh, I'm almost certain it passed $1 billion. So
Okay.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna do them in order though. So how much would have it cost? I don't think it's gonna be as cheap as the other ones because they were putting a lot of money into this. I'm gonna go 330 million for a budget,
For budget, okay.
and it made 1.2 billion.
And you're saying it's for the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Mm-hmm.
That three? How much? How much?
This is already means I got it right.
300 and what?
330 million.
Jesus fucking Christ!
I'm like,
330 million. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny didn't even cost that much. Spoiler for that. The Super Mario Bros. Movie cost 100 million.
what?
It cost 100.
What a steal!
It cost. You know what? It cost 100 mil and it made 1.358 billion. So it made
1.3. So I was 1.2. I wasn't too bad in that.
1 billion and then 350.
That's very good.
Billion. That's insane amounts of money. So yeah,
Jesus
they were
Christ. What's
raking
been
it.
in my mind that's been like 300 or 400 million recently that I'm like, every movie costs that much?
The Avatar cost that much. Indiana Jones cost that much. Well, you know what?
Well, we'll just see. We'll just see.
It's not on the top 10, so I can't say. Indiana Jones, I believe, cost $300 million.
Okay.
Mission Impossible is also not on here, so I will say that cost 290 million.
Okay.
So you are hearing a lot about movies that cost that much. They don't need to cost that much. It's usually just down to just inflated budgets, down to visual effects, down to last minute changes, stars.
See,
that kind of thing.
I just assumed any movie with Chris Pratt got like an extra 100 million added to it just for him.
No. There's
He's not that big.
There's rare that movie stars get that sort of budget up front, unless you're like Robert Downey Jr., who got, I believe, 50 million as a paycheck for the Avengers, if I'm not mistaken.
Fair.
Although that had some of the back end. We'll do a couple more. Across the Spider-Verse, budget and box office. Go.
All right. With all the information I have learned previously, I am going to severely tune down my estimations. So I'm going to say it cost, because it was still quite big, I'm going to say 150 million.
Okay.
And it made, oh boy, 720 million.
Very close.
Oh.
It cost 100 million.
Oh, okay.
So it cost the same as the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Okay.
Which, to be fair, it cost that much with massive crunch.
Yeah.
So
Not good.
don't do that. Don't do that to your staff. That's terrible. Box office, it actually made 684 million. So
I was
you
within
were-
50 mil.
you were within 40. I think it was what, 38 million off. Very close. 36 actually. 36
very
million off.
close.
Very close.
Go
Tom.
me. I'm going to consider that whole segment a win.
You know what? I'll consider that a win as well.
Great job.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Let's see. Do you think you can get it bang on, Tom?
Okay, I'll go for
I'm
it.
gonna give you one more,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to give you something that is totally just off the wall type shit.
Okay.
Let's see, because there is some in here that is just. I'll tell you. You know what, Tom? I know what to do.
Okay. I'm ready.
Tom. Fast 10. Budget and box office. Go.
I gotta think about that. Now, your average, because I'm an expert at this now, your average budget is roughly around 100 million. But that's how much Vin Diesel pays just to wax his head. So that's got to be taken into consideration.
100 million is immediately flushed down the toilet because Vin Diesel can't decide on what he wants to do.
Vin Diesel has this
Do you know
stipulation.
that the original director quit like 10 days into production?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was Justin Lin. I think Justin Lin
Yeah.
made the first one and he made 9 as well. He's going to make 10 and then he just quit because Vin Diesel's an egotist.
Yeah. Yeah, Vin Diesel has a stipulation in his contract that every car that is used within the film, he has to own a copy of. So that adds to the budget a
So they
bit.
can't trash those.
No, those ones go directly to his house. For the first handful of movies, they were able to trick him by just buying a load of Hot Wheels versions and telling him they were very far away. But he eventually caught on to that.
Far away.
He caught on to that once he tried to get into one of them and he broke it into a
Father
million
Ted had to
pieces.
come and explain to him the concept of small and very far away.
But no, it's a big blockbuster. So I'm going to say 250 million.
Okay, big one.
Yeah.
All right, he's going for broke here.
And it made $5. No, it made.
It probably did make $5
probably
somewhere.
made $5. It got my $5.
There was what? There's some cinema where it had to have sold only one ticket.
Mine. No, there was people there. It was quite annoying.
Was it packed?
It wasn't packed, but it was just the type of people you wouldn't.
Yeah, it
want.
really puts it in perspective whenever your Fast and Furious movie is there's people there, but it's not packed. And
Oh,
then
it
you
was
go and
nowhere near packed.
You
compared
go
to,
and see
like,
Oppenheimer, and you go and see Oppenheimer, and it's packed. And you're like, whoa, wait, what?
Yeah,
Mental.
it was just a handful.
Vin Diesel needs his own Barbenheimer.
Yeah, yeah. I think they should bring back Riddick.
Oh my god, crossover.
They bring back Riddick and Triple X and anything
Oh
else.
my god, it's like the multiverse of Vins.
Oh, I'm trying to figure out what you would call like the Vin Diesel verse.
I
The
love
Diesel
that.
verse. I'm up for that. Groot shows up, and they're like, he keeps saying Groot,
I'm Groot.
and then they're like, oh, we'll just play along. So then it's just all of them in all scenarios just saying I am Groot. But no, I think it made. I don't think it did too well, so I'm gonna say 490 million.
Okay. Okay. So you think it cost 250 and it only made 490?
Yeah,
Okay, so you basically think it's basically a bomb.
yeah,
Okay, you're correct.
yay!
It it is a bomb.
Yes.
As for your numbers, you're way off.
Oh, uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Studios.
Big
Shit
puppy.
myself. No, Tom, was very much adorable. You really should have kept with your whole idea of the Super Mario Brothers costing 330. Because this cost $340 million.
Oh, what?
Yeah, this cost a heck of a lot of money.
I undershot it the one
Oh,
time.
by nearly 100 million. By nearly one whole Super Mario Brothers movie. By nearly one
By
whole
300
Spider-Verse.
million?
Dude, you could make 3 Oppenheimers and still have 40 million left over to make, I don't know. What cost 40 million? You could make at least 10 Blumhouse movies with that.
Yeah. Oh, or you can make like what 400 paranormal activities.
I was like 500,000.
Yeah.
Didn't
No.
Paranormal Activity only cost like 10
No,
grand?
the first one cost 10 grand.
10 grand? What was that? Then you could make 10, then you could make
10 of them's 100 grand.
So that's
100 of them is a mil.
4 million of that you could do 400.
Yeah.
So you could do was it 4,000?
Shit.
You could make 4,000 paranormal I don't know why you'd want
Yeah,
to.
but you might saturate a market there.
They might saturate a market. You could literally kill the market. So if you bet on that market collapsing, there you go.
Yeah,
There's your
there
money,
you
mate. But yeah, it box office wise, it made 719 million. So Spider-Verse nearly made that much with 3.5 times less budget. Oh, I'm sure Universal are like, you know what? Universal made the Super Mario Brothers movie, and they have Oppenheimer. So I'm pretty sure that them having those movies out alone has kind of kept Fast and Furious from being kind of swallowed into it,
A total flop.
being a total absolute flop. But that was an addition of box was budget and box. What are we
Budget
called?
and box office.
Budget and box office.
Yeah.
Uh,
And so if you enjoyed that segment, please like and comment below. Maybe you had some of your guesses and how close they were, or interesting films that you would like me to guess, because they might like completely surprise us. Kind of like Paranormal Activity being like 10 grand to make, and then I don't know how much, but I'm going to say like 100 mil, which probably undercuts it. But yeah, so yeah, let us know down in the comments below. We gotta do our stuff for the algorithm. Beep beep boop boop.
Tom, who do you think watches these?
Your mom.
Who do you think? Watches?
And that's not a dirty.
That's not a dirty joke. Hi, Mom. Hi.
Hi, Jack's mom.
We will tease a little guest appearance coming up soon. Somebody who has been on the podcast before. We've only ever had one guest, so won't take you fucking long to guess who that is. But we're gonna have him back on the podcast. Long awaited return. Long awaited by nobody.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have him back at the podcast. He's gonna be back in a couple of weeks. As Tom, you are going to Gamescom in where is it? Guten Tag?
In Cologne.
Gulag.
In the Gulag.
Gamescom in the Gulag.
me and my fellow game developers.
You
in
and the boys going to the Gulag.
Yeah.
when the game devs get lost in the Gulag.
Oh no! Yeah, it's in Cologne in Germany. But yeah, we're going to Gamescom. That's going to be a
There's
fun
a place
event.
called Cologne.
Yeah, where do you think Cologne comes from?
It's funny as fuck.
It's the same.
No, man, we clearly the Irish invented Cologne and then Germany stole it.
No, we invented Links Africa. That was it. It's a traditional Irish
We are
Christmas
the
present.
scatterings of Links Africa.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, we're gonna get on a tangent again. But yes, no, we'll have him as a guest on the week that you go away.
Yeah.
And then we will be visiting Dublin. We'll be visiting Dublin to go and see the Trash Taste Boys, who I don't know who these people are.
They are a far better podcast that you should listen to, but only after listening to
I'm going to
ours
be
first.
straight up honest. If they're listening to our podcast,
You're not going to like it.
I don't think they're going to be listening to Trash Taste. But by all means, give it a shot if you want. I ain't linking it. I ain't putting any links.
They're getting enough views.
But I do hear that if you mention other people's podcast, the algorithm will recommend you in their suggested videos.
Jack,
So,
that is just a cruel way to manipulate the algorithm.
you know what, Tom? Compared to what you're trying to do, I'll take it.
That puts a sour note on other great podcasts like Cold Ones or The Yard or The Broke Boys. What's the one Jarvis Johnson does? Sad
Who the
Boys.
fuck is Jarvis Johnson?
Jarvis Johnson. He's
Who's
a
that?
YouTuber. What would you know him from? He recently did the one where he spent a week in the metaverse.
Oh, was Jarvis Johnson ever on this? Ever on Diary of a CEO? The podcast Diary of a CEO was he ever on that?
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that one. But maybe he was on the General Banter podcast.
Oh, he might have been on the General Banter podcast.
Colin Geddes, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, it'd be mad if we were, in the same kind of league as the General Banter podcast.
Yeah.
That'd be really great if we were on the General Banter podcast. General Banter podcast.
General Banter podcast.
Can YouTube even pick up that we're saying General
like and
Banter, or
subscribe.
is it just winging them? Whatever.
There you go.
Dom, that's another episode in the bag. Do you have any closing thoughts for our dear viewers?
Go do something better than watch a movie. Because that's what Meg 2 taught me. Meg 2 taught me that I've been spending too much time watching bad movies. So I should either stop watching movies altogether, or I should get Jack to start recommending me good ones again. The only problem with that one is he'll just start throwing bad ones in there and say they're good.
And with that, I'd just like to say the MEG 3 has been confirmed. Good night, everybody. Good night. Bye-bye.